Prior to Michelle joining us, I was doing both roles as the president CEO title. So I found myself handling so much in the way of decision making for the company, and the company itself was revolving around me so much that although we have a great culture, it became a challenge for folks to get access to me, folks to get timely enough responses and answers from me, as well as for me to handle the things that I feel like I'm uniquely capable of, which is some of the high-end client work and high-end leadership for the company. Now, one of the keys is I had to know that I would be comfortable to let go of control, especially because while I have a business partner, I was the person accountable for running the agency. So I was used to having my fingers and my hands on almost everything. And as I said earlier, too much. So the first step is to make sure that I believed I was ready to let that go, and that I believed that the upside was so good for the organization, as well as for me personally, that it was time to do it. And I did come to that decision, obviously.
As we went through the Metiss Group process, help me understand, if you guys could each just take turns, describe for me how the process from definition through the steps in between into the onboarding made a difference in allaying some of those fears and making you comfortable both in the decision to move forward.
Well, although we're EOS practitioners, so we had a defined definition, somewhat of a job description from Rocket Fuel of what an integrator would do. The role would still have to fit our culture and fit well with me as the visionary, as well as my business partner, because he's significant, of course, to the entire relationships, the entire relationship inside the company. So the ability to sit down and build out the benchmark ahead of time, to understand how the profile of a person would fit with Charles and myself, and then with the culture of the company, was a huge difference maker, because it allowed us to then just move forward with confidence, because we believed right away that we were going to be able to find the right fit, as long as we stayed disciplined in the process. So we knew we had to stay true to the process.
Sure, and for those people who don't know, with EOS, they have an accountability chart which lists 4 to 5 things that each person's responsible for, but our accountability matrix blows that out on steroids, so to speak, and we look at what are all the tasks and activities among 3 to 5 buckets, and what are the priorities? How do we expect someone's going to spend their time? What's the scorecard? How will we know if they've done their job well enough to keep it? And so we have clarity around that, which helps us then build out the avatar. What would the perfect person look like to do that? And while nobody is perfect, sorry, Michelle, it allows us to know who comes close and who needs the least amount of support. Where can we give them support in order to help make them wildly successful? So once that's done, and you're right, Kurt, staying disciplined to the process and staying with it and not taking shortcuts mean a lot. So Michelle, from your perspective, how did that definition clarity up front and the pace with which we moved through the process help you as you were considering the opportunity?
I can tell you that was the deal maker for me, was the process itself. And the company that I was with prior, Cindy, as you know, we used the same process. However, I will tell you, we weren't probably always true to it. And I can tell you the times that we were not true to it, that it didn't end up as favorably as it could have. So for me, when I saw that Autumn was following the same process and they were very disciplined to follow it to a T, I felt very comfortable that in the end, my decision would be a good decision. And I also felt like if Autumn was going to go through the time and expense to do that in the proper way, that it would be a good decision for them as well.
Your staff person, Cindy, who knows us well because we've used her before, was in a great position to help us judge as people did the assessments and as people did the interviewing. she helped us judge how well they fit into, as you said, the accountability matrix, and then how that profile interacted inside of the integrator role and what we were really looking for. Because as disciplined as we tried to be with the process, and we were very focused on it, there were times that we got attracted to shiny stuff or to something that was, just cool, a new person who had something unusual, or something that was attractive in a specific way. But we had to understand exactly what would work inside of our organization as best as is possible. And so her input in that way was crucial to our success in the hiring. And 6.5 months in, things look great.
Since I've only been here a short time, I've heard many comments about I'll call it the last 4 hires that Autumn has done, and how wonderful those folks have fit in here culturally and from their expertise and background. And so I think we're 4 for 4, at least in the last 13 months.